A 37-page document details some of the disturbing allegations against former USA gymnastics coach John Geddert, who died by suicide yesterday. Geddert is accused of forcing gymnasts to practice or compete with broken bones and torn muscles and tendons. Victims allege Geddert was also psychologically abusive, keeping a list of who he called a fat club, and even telling gymnasts to take their own lives. One alleged victim accuses Geddert of sexual assault in a locker room when she was 14, describing it as a punishment for not performing up to his standards. Now, in the wake of Geddert's suicide, many are asking, given the serious nature of the charges, why was Geddert given the option of turning himself in rather than police bringing him into custody? Grant Herms is following that part of the story, and let's look at what happened. Not bringing Geddert in does seem like a mistake, though legal experts, Grant, say otherwise.
Right, Devin. Legal experts say it's exceedingly common for defendants to turn themselves in. It's based on the idea that everyone is innocent until proven guilty, and they'll make that happen as long as they're not at risk of flight. Authorities today saying that they just had no way of knowing Geddert would take his own life.
During her press conference Thursday, Attorney General Dana Nessel telling reporters Geddert was in custody and set to be arraigned over video.
My understanding is that he has turned himself in and that he is scheduled to be arraigned today at 2:15.
In a statement Friday, a spokesperson for Nessel correcting that. There was some miscommunication prior to the press conference. We were told Geddert was on his way to the sheriff's substation. We later found out he did not turn himself in. That same spokesperson adding the decision to have Geddert turn himself in was standard procedure, writing, quote, "We had no indication that Geddert intended to flee or hurt himself or others. We had been in contact with his attorney and were assured of his cooperation."
People turn themselves in federal prison after sentences. People, particularly even nowadays with Zoom technology, are ordered to leave the comfort of a home and go report to the jail within 24 or 48 hours, and they do it.
Attorney Neil Rockhind said the decision to allow Geddert to turn himself in is the norm, and how he was to surrender was likely worked out between attorneys and the court.
I have reason to believe that the police had been in communication with his counsel, and he had been notified. So I doubt anybody along the way had a sign that this man was going to pose a risk of harm.
The Attorney General's office said they didn't have any further comments, citing the MSP investigation into Geddert's suicide. And we should say there are resources for sexual assault survivors and those thinking about suicide. Devin, we have those resources on clickondetroit.com.
Exactly right. And Grant, this is the end, though, for many athletes who may have been hoping to tell their stories in court. Any likelihood that that could somehow still happen?
Simply put here, Devin, no. Michigan does not allow somebody to be tried after their death, so this case will undoubtedly be dismissed in court.
It's going to lead to quite a bit of anger, no doubt. All right, Grant.